Welcome to the Spiritual Awakening with Shaz podcast, where we unlock the power within and navigate the journey of your self-discovery together. I'm Shaz, your spiritual mentor and life coach, here to help you tap into your inner guidance system and manifest your best life. Whether you're just beginning your spiritual journey or looking to deepen your practice, this podcast offers insights, techniques, and inspiration to elevate your consciousness and transform your reality. Get ready to shine your light and embrace your true potential. Remember, the answers are inside you. Let me be your guide on earth. Welcome back to the Spiritual Awakening podcast with Shaz. Today we're diving into something that affects so many women, but so few people talk about it. That's skin issues, acne, and breakouts. Not just from a surface level, but what's actually going on underneath it all. Because what if skin is not the problem? What if it's a message? Today, I'm blessed to be communicating with the beautiful Zhanna Gavrilov. She is a holistic skin specialist, certified life coach, and the founder of Radiance Coach. With more than 25 years of experience, she helps women transform their skin from the inside out by combining advanced skincare, nutrition, stress management, mindfulness, and emotional wellness. Zhanna is the creator of the 90-day Radiant Skin Wellness Journey, a guided holistic acne clearing program designed to help women heal both their skin and their confidence. We're talking healing, self-worth, learning to work with your body instead of fighting it. Thank you for joining me, Zhanna. Please let us know all about you, and I'm just excited to have this conversation because not many people really talk about how bad this can get and how much it relates to the mind and the unconscious thoughts that are stored beneath it.
Yes. Thank you, Shaz, so much for having me, first of all.
Yeah.
I'm excited because this is my life's work and my purpose, I think, is to support women to have a beautiful skin, support them inside and out. In doing this, I try to combine holistically all different things like their skincare, their nutrition, their lifestyle, their stress, and most importantly is the inner work, the inner outer alignment, because only then can true radiance and confidence shine through. And I love talking about it today.
So much truth there. I love it. This is why I also got into coaching, to uplift and inspire women to shine, to literally shine from the inside out. And what is on the inside literally is what comes out on the outside. I believe that the body is the record of our soul. It keeps all our secrets, and acne is one factor of it. I talk about pain and problems and disease quite often associated with the body and what's going on mentally. But skin issues is something I've never delved that much into it. I'm not a big fan of makeup and skincare. I happen to be quite sensitive and somewhat allergic to most things. So I understand it at some level, but avoidance is my cure.
Hey, whatever works, right? We got to do it. Speaking of shine, I love the name of your course, Shine with Shaz. I think it's like so fitting.
I just want to see people. I believe I'm blessed as a psychic medium. I'm blessed to see people's aura and the radiance glow that you call it. And I want to see people shine inside out. And when you see a confident woman and you see someone that's aware of who they are, what they do, their auric field shines. And the glow around you today is magnificent. And it's not lighting, it's just the energy that you're emitting. It's really beautiful. So thank you. I can tell you this stuff works just by looking at you.
I appreciate, honestly, I appreciate it. It's not an easy work, right? As we know, the inner work. But the results and the joy that we get from it is worth it.
And it's so easy because it shows on your body, on your skin, everything. I can't tell you how many times recently I've been told, what's different about you? You look so light. You look so like happy. And because I am, the inner work makes the difference of how you feel, how you look on the outside. Your insides shine through. The essence of who you are speaks. And I haven't changed on the outside at all. I have not altered anything,
Yeah.
but you can see it just in the way it's perceived of self. And that's the mirror image we all aim to look for.
I 100%. I always tell my clients, because I work one-on-one in my aesthetics rooms as well, right? For many, many years. That's what I've been doing since 90s. And I tell them, please know that we can do all kinds of treatments, and you can buy the most expensive creams and invest in so many different procedures. But if inside there's a lot of pain, sadness, right? You're never going to look so youthful and joyful. You won't, So uh, I'm 52. And at this point, I don't want to use any injections or Botox or anything. I love to just balance in and out and see how far it's going to take us, you know?
Yeah, I'm the same. I just turned 53 this last week, and I was sitting next to someone. I go and play poker sometimes, and I was sitting next to a gentleman, and they mentioned it was my birthday the day before, and he goes, "Oh, how old are you? Like 40?" And I said, "No, I'm 53." He goes, "Where's your gray hair?" He goes, "Look at me. I'm 48, and you look 10 years younger than I do." And I'm gone, "Thank you. That's so beautiful." But it
I,
is, it's the glow inside out. And I've noticed that I see other people my same age, and I look at them going, do I look that old? Or I see people younger than me, and I can tell you, I can see ravages of people emotionally in their face, in their skincare, in what's going on within them. And it makes a difference. And I feel this youthful glow from that inner work, from knowing who I am and living the life that I choose of purpose and passion. It's magnificent.
yes. Oh, absolutely. It makes me feel so good when you say that, because that's what it's all about, right? Living your purpose, finding that inner glow, so it shines. That's the most important. And at the same time, we got to remember about our body. We're given the body, right? We're given the skin. Why not to have it, taken care of? We're giving, the hair, the body. We take care of it. We feed it. We exercise it. We respect it. We love it, because that's our vessel, right? It helps us
Absolutely.
do what we're meant to do here. So that's what I want women to know.
I love that. So let's go back. What led you
Mhm.
to this work? How did you get into it?
So thank you. Yes, that's a very good question, because you see, I've been trained for aesthetics a long time ago, early 90s. Even before I moved to the States from former Soviet Union, Moldova, one of the republics there. So we were vigorously trained there for aesthetics in Europe. It's pretty serious. I've been working here. I got my license here when I moved here in 94. And for a long time, I've been, pretty successful working for big spas, learning things and truly enjoying it until about, let's say, 10 years ago, 10 to 15 years ago, it started to become a little more, I wouldn't say boring because I like my work, but a little more burned out, maybe, because honestly, I felt like something was missing. That's what I'm realizing now, that something was missing. It's just, I help women, but it was more of a symptom management. Like they would come with acne, we help them relieving, then they come back. It wasn't much change. Same with wrinkles. Yes, you help and it's a little bit better, but it's just something was missing. So I, s- at the same time, I was doing a lot of self growth, self development, because that's what I'm into. That's what my family into. My mom is my big mentor in that. So I realized that the more I work on myself, you know, the better actually I treat myself and the better I look. So I notice pattern in my clients that they're not treating themselves so nicely. They're not talking about themselves kindly, right? Not about their skin. The embarrassment they feel when their skin is breaking out in acne. I actually had a client recently. She was telling me she's getting ready in the dark. I was like, "Oh," because she can't look at her skin. That's a lot of pain. And you can, like, how can you even do that? But I hear it all. So I realized that the big missing piece is how we treat ourselves. And another missing piece is nutrition. So it has to be holistic. It has to be worked on all different levels, because we're not just our skin, right? It's all interconnected. And I realized the skin is a messenger. And my job is to help women understand the message and not criticize it, not fight it, right? It's just a message that there's disbalance, some sort of distress going on. So I was lucky to study under a holistic medical doctor, to receive a holistic certification for an aesthetics, where I can recommend supplements, where I can recommend nutrition, uh, counseling, where we can do certain treatments, definitely. So results started to change little by little. But then when I added that piece about the inner work, about self-care, about the creating what I call a skin affirmation, that we actually say, okay, how we want our skin to be. And I ask them, if you had a magic wand, how would you like your skin to look? Like if you just had the free choice, you know? And a lot of people say, well, if I could just have a little less acne, or like less pigmentation. I said, no, no, no. How would you like your skin to look? And a lot of times we're so entrenched in self-criticism that we can't even say it in a positive way. Like, I'm sure you're familiar with it because you work with clients, on somewhat the same way. And I say, but what about your skin looking clear, maybe, right? Supple, radiant.
Mhm.
Oh, right. So that's where the transition starts. So,
It's one of the big things when I start coaching with people. One of the first things I ask them is, who are they? And most people have no idea. The first thing out of most women's mouths is, I'm a mum. And I'm like, you're
yeah.
so much more than that. And I have the same question. If you could wave a magic wand, what would life look like instead? What would you want instead of this? And they really can't think of it because they're so ingrained in accepting so little that
I know.
dreaming or asking for anything more is too much for them. And I understand it deeply because I was the same. I did not think I deserved better. I had low self-esteem, low self-worth. I got into this work literally to fix myself. And through
That's
fixing
how it is.
myself, I realized there are 5 million other people exactly like me who don't have the tools or the wherewithal or understanding of how to do it. And I love that you saw the problem, realized there was a gap, and then found a way to fill it. That's literally how my coaching business come about as well. And so many coaches that I do talk to in whatever micro niche or whatever area they work with usually have the same story. And they're the ones that I find get the best results because they are looking from one, their own perspective, and two, complete understanding of seeing the improvement they want to make. There's some
Yes.
others out there, and I have to say, I know they don't get the same results because they don't come from the same holistic approach or heart space or complete understanding of the transformational journey. I love that you really look at it as that whole aspect because that's the heartbreak for it all. So many women I know, and one of my friends had a teenage daughter that had acne really, really bad when she was in her teens. And this is a beautiful young girl, and her self-esteem shriveled from it. And she had to take a drug, and I can't remember the name of it.
Accutane.
That one.
Mm-hmm.
It's horrendous what it does to you. Like
Unfortunately, yeah.
seeing what you can do without it and hearing some of what you talk about, the nutrition, the holistic aspects of it. The drug cleared it up, mind you, but the side effects of it, I don't know that I'd willingly pay it off. But she
Exactly.
doesn't have the problem now, and it built her self-esteem up. But the two factors had to go together because it didn't get better until she started thinking better about herself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you ever struggle with self-image yourself, or What was the pivot point that made you go, this is exactly the type of area I want to work in?
Yes, I struggled with self-image and just thinking positive about myself. You know, growing up in Soviet Union, that was not something that was encouraged, you know. It was encouraged to be kind of down and leveled out with everybody else, you know, not speaking up, not, you know, even thinking about any kind of freedom, I would say. Also in the family, I wasn't, it wasn't so kind and inspirational growing up. You know, it is what it is. Like that's part of the inner work and self work. I understand that my parents did what they could, right? That was their best, and you know, I'm here now to grow from what I've got and find light from the darkness. So, but having said all that, I came to the beginning of this work really shredding myself on a daily basis, on all kinds of things, from thinking that I don't look good enough, from, that I don't do good enough, that I'm just not enough, in general. And you know what's interesting? You're not noticing it. It's your default, right? So when the awareness happened, I think that was the biggest thing that you finally, you realize what you're doing. And it's just basically like a torture. Like I realized that I'm torturing myself.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So, uh, it's a freedom to change that outlook, to change that whole, way that you're treating yourself. And I know that's what my clients do. So it's interesting. I've never struggled with acne myself, you know. So it's not like, oh, I treated my acne, so now I can help others, which is valid as well. I'm just trained to treat acne, like a doctor trained to treat, certain things or whatever, right? So, but I realized that what I truly can help women with is that piece about the inner acceptance and treating myself, yourself, kindly through the process, right? Through whatever's going on. So that when that came together, it's like a puzzle. It came together for me, and it just was like, yeah, that's my work. And that's when I realized that I actually want to talk about it. 'Cause to be honest with you, I've never been doing any social media. I've had clients on referral, and it's just I have my private studio for years, and I've never really had a need for, like, oh, let me just go and talk about it. But when now I see this clearly, how I could help, I think more women need to know about it.
Absolutely. And this is the thing is there needs to be more conversations about this. There needs to be more awareness about it. It's, for me, the true pandemic out there. Low self-esteem, self-doubt, low self-worth. This inner critic, I call it the itty bitty shitty committee, and it
Oh,
needs to shut down. It needs to be clear, cancelled, deleted, and quite frankly told to fuck off. The
yeah.
negative aspect and the normalcy that we create around belittling ourselves, putting ourselves down, bullying ourselves, underplaying who we are, being not enough, not good enough. I have so many people come to me and they tell me, oh, I'm not enough. The first question I ask them, define enough. And they don't even know what it is. And it's usually a bar set by our parents, our siblings, teachers, community, everybody else out there. Well, you're never going to live up to their expectations. What are your own? And they don't even know. And that
Yeah.
saddens my heart. People talk about themselves negatively all the time. And I'm one to correct it, to turn around and say, no, we don't say that about ourselves. And that's not good for you. And they look at you really strangely like, what do you mean? No, 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 don't say that. We want to say something better. So we replace that because one of the methods that I got taught to stop the itty bitty shitty community was when it said, oh, you're not enough, is to stop it in its place and turn around and go, you know what? Well, first of all, what is enough? And who said I'm not enough? Well, not according to me. And you're your own definition. Identity is a problem. And we identify usually externally first of what we look like on the outside, and everything looks great, and we wear these masks and these attitudes and behaviors that really aren't aligned with who we are because we want to fit in. And that
Yeah.
breaks my heart. And then
Yeah.
heaven help anyone that looks different to anybody else on the outside. The judgment, the criticism, the nitpicking. Like, I was talking to one of my friends the other day and they were talking about, oh, look at my wrinkles. I'm like, what wrinkles? You don't even see them. I don't look at that close at people's face or skin. I'm seeing their energy, their personality, who they are. That to me is the most beautiful thing on the planet. And beauty is so much more than the external, but the external can't be pretty when the internal is dark. It just does not
Yeah. Yeah.
coalesce. It does not align. And this is what I want to help change in the world in the way that I do it. And seeing other people do it just makes my heart so happy. This is a topic, and yeah, talk about it. Create podcasts, create videos, have real conversations about skin and the crap that they're telling themselves first thing in the morning. I can't tell you how many women have ever said to me, oh, I get changed in the dark. I don't look at myself in the mirror. My body's not pretty. I'm overweight and there's stretch marks and all sorts of things. And I look in the mirror and tell myself that I'm beautiful because I love it. Okay, my body sustains me. It gives me everything that I need. It's not perfect, but I don't personally want to be. I want to be healthy and I want to be able to move my body and do what I need to do. There are aspects that I don't like. And even when I criticize myself, I train myself to stop it.
Yes. That's the key. We got to have awareness and stop it. I
And
love it. Love
awareness
it.
is the first step for it too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what were you taught about beauty growing up and how did that affect you?
Oh, growing up, I think in my generation, we still had a lot of it that girls need to, be feminine, be, looking their best, looking pretty, you know, please, all of those things. So, although my mom was really, really supportive always of me, but I think it's just depends, what you given. I was given that kind of personality where I was, very strict to myself, unfortunately. So, comparing myself to others, and I think that was encouraged in the society, maybe, or something. I don't know. It just seems like some of us, right? We don't just come out of the womb being confident, you know, and that's okay. That I believe that there's a reason for it all, right? So for us to maybe start looking deeper what it's all about and finding the light in the darkness, how I call it, And I wanted to say those women who find you for their work, right? They're drawn to you because they're ready to have some of this awareness. They understand that there's something more. There's more to it than just being within all these roles, right? And trying to fit in and please and just perform all the time. So,
Yeah,
what do
it's amazing who finds you and how they find you. Quite ironically, that was one of my clients just
you
popping in. As I said to you, there are people coming to the house, and I'm like, I don't have any visitors planned today, but that's okay. We just run with it. And in it, like, you can't make someone ready for change. You have to work with them where they're at. But I do gently encourage them to look at themselves better and to see the beauty, like inside and out of who they are. I'm not a big fan of external beauty. As I said, I don't wear makeup. I occasionally wear lipstick. I'll sometimes wear mascara because everything else just feels heavy on my skin or it causes me problems. I suffered from acne as a child. Only here I have scarring here from it. And most of it, I don't know what it was from. I eat junk food. I'm terrible with junk food. Coke's my favorite drink. I do probably all the wrong things on a nutritional scale for skincare, but everything that I do or eat or have, I enjoy it. I love it. And I make that food work for me. And I notice that's a big difference for me in any reaction of anything. What I'm thinking when I'm doing those actions makes all the difference as to what I can eat. Okay. I'm sometimes not a big fan of water, but I had to train myself not to say, I don't like water, I hate it, because I was absorbing the hate as it absorbs into it. Whereas I now program my water and I charge it and I sit there and tell it how much I love it and use it for that essence of self.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the beauty that shines inside and out, right? So when you
Yes.
fill your body and your soul with goodness, it can be seen externally. And there's all different ways that we do that. I have dear friends that do the full makeup routine and I love it. As a child, my mother never really wore makeup, but one of her best friends, this woman was fully faced of makeup at 6 o'clock in the morning to get up and do the housework because that was her routine. And so I had great polarity like in front of my face because we used to see her friend all the time. And I'm
Mhm.
like, yeah, I can't do it. I got friends that spend hours on skincare and things like that. And I have no problem in doing it so long as, for me, you've got to love while doing it, not being self-critical. There's no use saying that I'm going to wear this skin cream and it's going to make me young and beautiful while going, oh my God, look at all my wrinkles and my face is horrible and I've got this problem and that problem. They're non-conducive to health and wellness.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you're speaking my language so much because I always say that when you're applying your skincare, why you're applying it, you charging it with your thoughts.
Yeah.
Like when you mentioned about the water, most skincare products, their basically main ingredient is water. There's a base of water or aloe vera, right? So water absorbs our energy right away, right? So I tell women, you invested in this product, your time and your resources for what? To just, pick it up and think, oh, my skin is so awful. Let me just charge it with that, apply it and wear it all day.
And they go, why doesn't it work?
Exactly. It needs to be changed. I tell them, like, what is your skin goal? Why you bought the products? You bought the products so you want clear skin, or maybe you want more supple or more radiant skin, and that's what it's gonna do. So, think about that when you're applying your skincare, and make it a little ritual. A little ritual. It can be just your 30 seconds or your 2 minutes that you actually speaking kindly to yourself. You're applying your product. And it's not about that like toxic positivity. Oh, my skin is completely clean. No, but we know that, okay, you got your routine, you have your plan, and you have your goal and affirmation. So just enjoy the process of getting there. Right. And
Joyous and fun.
exactly, exactly. So yeah, that's perfect.
The more playful with it, like one of the things that I love to see, and there's a fair few beautiful creators out there, is to watch them do different makeup styles and to watch the aesthetic change. Like it's magnificent to watch it. But the joy of watching someone create that for someone and to go and get like a makeover and be witness to that, to see their, like even just the hairdresser or the nail
Mhm.
salon, to watch the change of someone that walks in feeling defeated, unloved, unhappy, and not happy about the outside, then walking out glowing and things like that. That is great. But that for me is minute time. It lasts while the hair's done. It doesn't work
It's a band-aid.
after.
It's
Yeah,
a
it is the
band-aid.
band-aid effect.
Yes.
When did you personally realize that one, acne isn't about skin, and two, that people were getting it so wrong in their routines that they thought the band-aids would work?
Yes. Well, because I see women who've tried everything, right? They've tried all kinds of products. They tried prescriptions, right? Internal antibiotics, right? Topical prescriptions. They tried Accutane. For some people, even after Accutane, they might get some mild acne come back years later, years later. Uh, I I've seen women who were so discouraged and just so sad about their skin, right? And then it's not just to do with acne, it's with aging as well. Sometimes, it so happens that women just at one point they wake up and they're like, oh, like what happened to me? They feel so aged, or so just not glowing. So I realized that after trying all of this, and there's still a problem, right? That your skin is actually a messenger. It's showing what's going on inside. Think about how creator made it. Like, it's on our face. So we actually see it. We look at it. That you can't escape it. There's a message there. There's, an alarm. Maybe there's a little disbalance going on inside. We just need to switch our frame of mind of how we think about it. Skin is not your enemy. It's just a messenger. When you're getting a right help and learning to understand those messages, it can actually happen pretty fast. We can turn the skin around within, 3 months. It's not like you're going to be, completely healed, but you're going to be out of the woods. You're going to be having a good understanding on how to take care of yourself, right? What your skin needs. And little by little, your skin just stays clear, or your skin, becomes, more alive, not so dry, maybe not so irritated, maybe not so red, just calmer. And in your pressure eases, the less pressure, the more your skin, can also calm, right? Because stress is so aggravating for all of this. So that's my 2 cents into it.
And stress is one of the big factors with acne and skin problems and breakouts and everything like that. My cousin works in the bridal industry, and I always find it quite funny in a way and ironic in others that brides wake up with breakouts on their skin because of the stress leading up to it. And it always reminds me of my big fat Greek wedding when they turn around and go, "Oh, index."
That's classic. Oh my gosh, yes.
What is the craziest thing that you've had a client or someone tell you that they used or needed to do to clear up their skin?
Uh, a toothpaste. People put on that, Hey, I say whatever works, it's just a lot of times, to be honest with you, yes, I ask them what they're doing right now, but more than that, I just want to know how they feel about their skin and what they're doing at the moment to help it, and why are they here? Like, what brings them in? You know what I mean? But yes, there's, yeah, funny situations. But I try not to focus on that. I try to move them forward.
So let's talk about your work and moving them forward. What does it actually look like working with someone holistically? How do you work from the ground up?
Yes. So, of course, we do a full intake. I need to know about my clients, all of those areas, so about their nutrition, in details. We talk about what they're eating, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I need to know about how they take care of their skin, and the history of what's been going on with that. I need to know about their lifestyle, their, surroundings. Is there a lot of toxicity where they are? Because that all influences. And of course, I need to know their stress level, and I observe them, and I like to learn. I let them talk, and I like to hear, because you can tell how kind they are to themselves or not. What they, what is the treating of their little girl inside themselves, right?
Yeah.
So once I know all of that, we usually develop a treatment plan, whatever skincare they may need, whatever treatment, if I do it here, or, if it's online, I might suggest what they can do themselves at home, maybe. And then we start making adjustments, nutritional adjustments, depending on what's going on, what they can adjust, and how I suggest adjustments in their lifestyle, to start detoxifying their environment. I might give them supplements to help along a little bit. But you know what? You can take all kinds of supplements, and they will not really work if you don't do all other things along with that, because if there's irritants, those supplements don't stand a chance, maybe a little bit, but then they're not going to see. So it's a whole, you're all in. Basically, you need to be committed. And I tell people, this is for someone who is ready to make changes, who's ready to work. And all of those things that I just mentioned, they're all carried forward and through with the inner work,
Yeah.
with how you think about it, what you do. So every time I see my clients, we keep talking about it. We keep, because they need support, especially the first 3 months.
Absolutely.
With my acne clients, they need a lot of that emotional support. That's why I got all of this education. I felt like it's needed. I might have some natural talent with people, but you know what? I wanted to know how people communicate. So I got my bachelor in human communications, and then I went to life coaching because I thought, okay, there must be a way, a framework to help people more efficiently. And when I brought this together in my treatments, the results became so much better because, yes, we create a plan for them. And then while I'm treating their skin, we do the coaching. What's on your mind about your skin? And then when we're figuring this out with the skin, they already know how to talk to themselves, how to keep themselves up, during that time when their skin is maybe still purging. We talk about other things that are on their mind. So they feel better, lighter when they leave, so much more. And and to finish this, it's interesting what I realized that a lot of young women come for acne, but they realize that their skin was just a door because they learned so many other things that they can actually use throughout their life. If they come and they become so they're so upset. They say, "Oh, my friends, they eat pizza, they drink, and they never break out. How come I have all of this?" And they said, but you know what? Through this treatments, through this time together, you learned so many things, didn't you? And she said, yeah, you learn about the detoxing of your environment. You learn about the nutrition. You learn about the inner work. I recommend them some books to read, some audio to listen, some journaling to do, some techniques. Like, look how many things that you learn that you can actually then carry forward and for your family, future family, if they're not married yet, and for your kids and, it's just your community. So I think it's wonderful.
You're like me. Most of what I love about what I'm doing is the tools that you give them and the knowledge that you impart that they can use in their everyday life for their friends, for their family, for their community. I believe that if I can spark the light or help one person uplift and then they can pass it on to everybody else, this is how together we can change the world. We can't reach everyone, but what we're doing will move forward, and those tools and techniques matter. That's where the inner shift comes for me. When you look
Yes.
at inner healing for the skin, what are
Mhm.
some practices what does it look like in everyday practice?
With the inner healing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at the minimum, that's what I'm telling women. Once you have your plan, you know what to use on your skin. Let's say you committed to certain skincare program, right? So you chose to do it. What's important is to be aware of how you treat yourself, right? When you look in the mirror, what's the first thought that you have, right? How you greet yourself in the morning when you wake up, right? You look in the mirror. Uh, what do you feel like? Do you feel like this is just your body or this is the spirit inside, right? That is having this experience, right? In the material world. Like, who is first here? So, skin healing starts when you shift that mindset that you become kinder to yourself on a daily basis. Even if my skin is still not doing good, but I have my plan, right? The catch the negative thoughts, the self-criticism. Just like you were saying, actually, perfect. I tell clients the same thing. Stop yourself. Ask, is this helpful right now? How's this helpful? You heard this a million times already,
Mm.
right? So, okay, maybe it's time to stop torturing yourself and just say stop or say cancel. Honestly, sometimes I have to say to myself, like, just shut up already.
Yeah.
So like, you just have to,
Shut the fuck up.
you know, and the more we create the habit of doing it, the new pathways in our brain is developed, right? And the easier it's going to be, right? And before you know it, at least you're not punching yourself, so to speak. At least it's a little bit more kinder. And then eventually, You can start adding, some more of the positive, thoughts about it. I'm not asking people right away go into any kind of toxic positivity. I just want you not to shred yourself down, at least first,
Yeah.
and create awareness.
And you can't go from hate to love in one step.
Exactly.
There has to be attitude adjustments, behavioral changes, ritualistic practice, and then it's a learned behavior. So you learn to love yourself one step at a time. I used to look at myself for 3.5 years in every mirrored surface to say, I love you, Sharon. And I'd pull faces and go, oh, fuck off, idiot. No, I don't. Like, I rejected the statement even whilst forcing myself to do it. And I'm talking every mirrored surface everywhere. And eventually one day I woke up, got into the bathroom mirror, looked in the mirror and said, I love you, Sharon. I'm like, what the fuck? I actually do. And I felt it. I felt that full on emotion of training myself that love was possible. I noticed
Yeah.
in the interim, I started liking myself more and I was not as hypercritical, but that love didn't fully hit till this one day. And I'm like, oh my God. And the shift for me and the quietness of that inner critic was quite phenomenal. And these processes, depending on how stubborn you are, how deep your trauma is, or how problematic things are, they're going to take some time. Everyone wants that Band-Aid. Get rich quick or fix this. I know I do it with my weight loss stuff and go, oh, here's a magic pill. This is going to make, it doesn't work,
It
right?
doesn't.
None of it works. You waste thousands and millions of dollars on it. What works is kindness to self, compassion to self, understanding, sitting with those emotions, working through them, and shifting the inner beliefs and values that you've had rained on you by other people to choose your own. And
Yeah.
that's where I love to see the change in women. And I know it works inside out. And seeing other people with the same mindset and the same goal for different areas of people, just like, this is my nirvana. This is what I want in the world. More of this everywhere. And it's not toxic positivity because it's not ignoring what was. Because
Exactly.
when I tell people when they come to coaching, I tell you, I don't care what happened to you because I don't. I care what you become despite what happened to you. Because we're not ignoring what happened, but that made you who you are today. And you can't be the person who you are today without experiencing that because you'd be someone else and understanding who you are and building from there. That made you. You learned something because the only non-learning in life is death. And if you're still here, you gained something from it. Most people can't see it. And this is what we call hindsight when we look back and go, oh, yeah, I got that out of it. Or if I knew that then, I would do this now. Everyone, I bet all your clients come to you and go, oh my God, I wish I knew this in my 20s because look how great my skin could be right now. And it is through better education and wisdom and imparting beliefs. Like, so if someone was struggling right now with acne, what are 3 things they can start doing today, just all by themselves, that would make a difference in their life?
Well, let's see. First of all, know that you don't have to struggle with acne indefinitely in our day and age. There's now proven ways of truly clearing acne. Couple of things that you can start at home today. I would say, first of all, if possible, reduce the sugar, reduce the processed sugar, in your and some junk food if you can. At least start with one thing, not because you have to deny yourself of sugar, not because of that, but because, like, what is sugar doing to you? Like, what is your goal? You want clear skin, and this is how it works. Just like kind of like if you like to, let's say you're ready to go on vacation. What do you need to do for that, right? You need to buy a ticket. You need to drive there. That's why you do it, because you have a goal. Just like that. You don't have to do it in denial. You're doing because you're going towards your goal. Then another thing is start becoming aware of your self-talk regarding your skin. Just let it be for a moment. Simplify. Just simplify. Don't apply all kinds of products. Simplify and start noticing, what are you doing? Are you frantically looking for new solutions all the time? Where your authority lies, who are you listening to? Just simplify, just step back a little bit, and the right solution will come along. I truly believe in that. So if even at least those two things, you start, I think already is going to start making a difference, and the energy will shift. And we know when energy shifts, new doors will open for you. Something will come along that actually gonna work out for you. So
I love that. And all of those things matter. So it is the intake of body, what you're putting into it. For me, as I said, the biggest change that I made is regardless of what liquid I'm drinking, and that is before I drink it, and same with food, is I reiki my food and I send love to it. And
oh, I love
my
that.
water, I program it with this is hydration, this is loving, this is beautiful for me. I cherish the sip. I'm nourishing my body, I'm feeding my soul, I'm giving myself everything that I need, and then ingesting it because the body responds to that sort of energy.
You
And
raise vibrations.
yeah, and the
Yeah.
frequency of it. Sometimes
Yes.
if I'm really like happy and joyous, I'll play music for my water or I'll put it in my singing bowls,
Oh,
I'll
love it.
supercharge it. I can do all sorts of weird
I
things
love
for things. I'm also a big fan. My friend has a Kangen water machine. I hope to get one soon of
Yes.
having good quality
Yeah.
water and hydration and things like that. I learn more about it each time because I'm starting to learn that we can get very dehydrated and that affects us on all levels.
Yes.
And the skin being the biggest organ of our body,
Mm-hmm.
acne does mainly affect the face, but it also comes out all over the body. And
Oh,
that is still essences of stress. And you can't treat the body or the back or the arms and things like that with the same face creams and things like that. But you can treat it all with the same mindset.
I absolutely. I love that. Actually, yes. Yes. Absolutely.
So I'd love you to tell the audience today, Zhanna, you have a
Mhm.
program, your Radiance Coaching. If someone was to come along and listen to this episode and say, oh my God, I need her. One, what does your program do? Run us through what it is, how it
Mhm.
works, and what you
Mhm.
offer. And
Mhm.
two, where do they find you?
All right. Yes. Thank you. So, Radiance Coach is an online educational platform that I founded when I felt that what I'm teaching clients in my private integrative aesthetics studio, um, that I can bring it out to more people. So I decided that, okay, I think I can do this on a larger scale, help more people. So in this day and age, it looks like it's online. So,
I love
I
online.
explored all of this, and I brought it out online, and I decided that I can have small groups of women. Probably I'm going to start, most likely would be women. Men also need it, young men need it, but that's probably something that I'm thinking I could do maybe just for guys separately. I think we need to have, it's a different dynamic.
Mhm.
Um, I'd like to have small groups of women that I can actually hold their hand through this acne clearing journey. Okay, so if for 90 days, we will meet twice a week and learn what it takes to clear acne. And usually I teach 4 pillars. It's nutrition, it's your skincare, so you understand what to put on your skin, you understand ingredients, treatments, so you're not all over the place. It's your lifestyle. What do we need to do? How do we manage stress? How do we detox our environment? And the fourth, my favorite, and yours too, is inner outer alignment, right? So they learn, the essence of all of this 4 pillars, the foundational of clearing their skin. So once a week we do that, and then we meet another day the same week, and we do more practical stuff. So a guided meditation, and in-home facial because I'm sending them all the products and treatments and the products for the face and supplements that they need, and a home facial because I can't do hands-on on them, but they can do it themselves, right? And then we're teaching them how we do it, because when I do treatments here with my clients, while they're having a mask, we do guided meditation. right? So we embody all of that we've talked about, and we're breathing out the negativity, right? All the self-criticism, and we invite the relaxation. We invite the pure intentions of health, radiant skin, inner balance, you know, joy and love and self-acceptance, right? So, and I also went to coaching that day with, you know, with my group, because people need help. They ask questions usually, and they need maybe emotional support. So it's more of a kind of practical, you know. So, and that's what we do for about 12 weeks. And at the end of that, you should be able, if you are committed, you should be able to understand how to have clear skin. So if anyone has questions, my platform is radiance-coach.com. I have a little free PDF if they like to explore it. It's called Radiance Reset. Basically, just talks in short of what it takes, you know, to have balanced skin. And they're welcome to download that, and they're welcome to, you know, contact me. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, and starting TikTok. To be honest with you, I don't have much of a TikTok yet, but you know, my kids are telling me, you know, that that's where, you know, all the
That's where everyone is.
thank you. Yeah, that's fine. You know, and my 33-year-old daughter is telling me that, and my 23-year-old daughter is telling me, I'm like, okay. You
Get
know?
them to do it for you. Say no.
Yes, yeah,
Like,
that
I wish
exactly.
I wish I had a teenager or a young adult that could take care of my socials, I'm telling you.
You know, it's very true. So they for sure giving me a lot of advice. I don't know if they're gonna be editing my videos, but we'll see. I'm working on that.
I love it.
Yeah.
Now, in the show notes, I'm going to put all the contacts to Zhanna, where you can download this PDF, how you can contact her and connect with her. I really enjoyed this conversation. Just a couple more questions. Why is your program different to everything else that's out there?
In my opinion, because I operate on the intersection of different modalities that usually people focus on skincare only, or they're nutritionists, and thank goodness for them that they teach people what to eat and how, right? Or there's life coaching where they teach about the goodness of that inner work of coming and accepting of yourself and all of that. So I try to combine all of these modalities because it is so important, in my opinion, for best results. So the uniqueness of it is that I bring that emotional component in. It's time to truly bring awareness to how we treat and talk ourselves regarding the skin.
I love that. And that's, for me, the whole aspect of it. It's not always one pathway. I'm not a fan of those, but if you do this one thing, everything will change. No, you won't.
Exactly.
It's never
Yeah.
one thing. It's a combination of different things brought together in that one way method or however it is, but it has to be multifaceted. Otherwise, there is no shift.
Definitely. It's integration.
Very true. I love that. If someone's listening right now feeling totally defeated in their skin, what is one thing that you would say to them to make them see, one, where they're at, acknowledge who they are, and how they can become more?
Yes. I first of all want to say that I hear your pain, that I shared this pain with a lot of my clients, and I hear how and understand how difficult this is because your skin is what everyone sees. So, and I know how hard it is, you know, on your confidence and your self-esteem and so forth. But I just want you to know, you know, you don't have to be suffering with it. There's a way. There's a way. And first of all, again, ease up the pressure. Ease up the pressure. And if you're listening to this, that means you were led to hear this. Maybe this is the new door that was meant to open, right? Giving us a little bit more a different perspective of learning something new. You know, maybe it's time. Because I think that we all deserve to explore our best possible self on the inside and out. Like, as Audrey Hepburn said, one of my favorite, quotes by her, she says, beauty is being best possible self on the inside and out. So
I love that. It's the same as I'm trying to remember what it is. Someone broke down beautiful. Be you to full. So be you to the fullest. Be
yes,
all of you. Beautiful is inside out. It's an
yeah,
aspect of all of you combined. And we are not just what we look like on the outside. Beauty for me is so much more than skin deep. It is how you show up. It's your aura. It's your energy field. It's the kindness, compassion, the love, the joy. The essence of your soul is so much more than the external package. And you can be a very plain looking person. You can not have what the critics call true beauty. And I find some of the most beautiful people out there are not what we'd consider pretty. But I don't consider pretty and beautiful to be the same thing. And I do love beauty as the whole aspect of all of you. It is everything about you. It's not just what the outer package looks like, because most people can fake the outer package, and there's nothing worse than someone that's really pretty and looks gorgeous that has darkness and negativity and is bitchy and mean. That is so not
yeah,
beautiful whatsoever.
exactly. Yes, absolutely. I think we're in times when it's possible for us to be beautiful inside and out. It doesn't have to be one or another, you know? We don't have to discount. Again, we have our body. We were given our body, so we just gotta take care of it in a kind way. And it doesn't mean that everyone has to look the same beautiful. It's your beautiful. What you feel comfortable with, how you love and accept yourself. If you wanna do makeup. But it shouldn't be to, create that shield, like, right? Because I'm so insecure inside. No, I'm doing it because I feel that balance. That's how that's what it is. Or, the inner beauty, because I want to feel light. I want to enjoy life, right? I want to be kind to myself and others. It can be both.
It absolutely can. So thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you so much, Zhanna. This has been a fantastic conversation, and I really hope people get to the crux of it all. It's a holistic aspect. It's skincare, it's mindset, it's inner talk, it's inner narrative, it's what you feed your body and soul. It's nutrition, it can be supplemental, it can be, and we feed ourselves in more than food. Everyone thinks we just feed ourselves with food and water. But what
Yeah.
we feed our mind is, for me, the most important aspect of this world. I chose purposefully not to, I don't listen to news. I don't look at the outside world. I don't allow negative conversations. I don't participate in bullying. I'll have conversations about things to get to the crux of the issues around them and to find solution, but not there just to beat people down. I feed my soul with greatness. And when you do, it really does shine.
Agree.
Okay.
Wonderful set.
It is. And for everyone out there, your body's not working against you. It is asking you to listen. And when you start doing that, trust us, everything inside of you changes. Thank you once again. I've thoroughly enjoyed this. Until next time.
Thank you so much. I love this.
Thanks for listening to the Spiritual Awakening with Shaz podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below so you don't miss an episode. You can also follow us on Facebook with the links below. Until next time, trust your intuition and let your spirit soar.